So basically, Pedro, one thing that we have to understand, no matter what you're going through in life, Allah will never test you beyond that which you have the ability to bear. So whatever hardship you're going through, whatever's making you feel that way, that you don't want to be here anymore, then know that Allah is testing you. Allah is testing you to test the firmness of your belief, to test the sincerity of your belief. And whatever Allah has tested you with, Allah tests those whom He loves the most. Allah tests those whom He loves the most. And of the things that we have to remind ourselves of, life and death belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Life and death belongs to Allah Azza wa Jal. So it's only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who gives life, and only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who takes it away. And Allah has prohibited that a person takes their own life. Allah has prohibited that a person takes their own life. But what is important for us is sometimes we are going through trauma or something that causes us depression. We have to address that issue. We cannot dismiss it or try to ignore it. We have to come to terms with what is the source of why we're feeling a certain way. And that may mean seeking professional help of counseling, that a person is able to talk to someone that's not going to judge them, to talk to them about that which they're experiencing, that which they're going through. But all I want to say to you is, no matter what you're going through, don't give up. Don't give up. Don't lose hope in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ask Allah to remove whatever sadness or feeling low or depression from your heart, or whatever is making you feel inclined to this way. I advise you, listen to the Quran, listen to the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah, He mentions, Allah bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. Is it not by the remembrance of Allah that the hearts find rest? So even in the midst of any adversity and hardship, when a person constantly remembers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is of the ways that they find help and comfort and consolement in the words of Allah Azza wa Jal. So that's my advice to you. That is my advice to you. And anyone who feels that way, just know life and death belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah has mentioned that He's going to test us in this life. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy. But don't see the test that you're going through as a punishment for you. Rather, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet taught us, the Prophet Muhammad, he taught us, peace and blessings be upon him, Inna ashadda an-nasi bala'an al-anbiya thumma al-amthal wal-amthal. Those who are tested the most from mankind are those who are the prophets, and then those who are like them, those who are similar to them. Also, he mentioned, إِذَا أَحَبَّ اللَّهُ قَوْمًا ibtalahum. If Allah loves a people, He tests them. So don't see the test that you go through as a punishment, but rather see it as a sign of love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and use it as a means to get close to Allah Azza wa Jal. Look at the stories of the Prophet. Ayub alayhi salam tested with his wealth, his family, his health, everything, to the point that the people said, your Lord has forsaken you and left you. But then he mentioned, Ya Allah, inni masani ad-dur wa anta arhamur rahimin. He said, oh Allah, I've been afflicted with great adversity, but you are the most merciful. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a better exchange of everything that he had lost. And that's the reality. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing you, and it's the fact that you came here on this live to tell us how you're feeling. This wasn't by chance. This wasn't a mistake. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wrote that for you, that you may hear the reminder to return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seek aid from Allah, seek counsel and comfort from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to be patient upon that which you are being tested with. And wallahi, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make your affairs easy. We ask Allah to make it easy for you, and we ask Allah to make you steadfast, to guide you to that which is pleasing and beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to remove any adversity and hardship that you're experiencing, any sorrow and grief that you're experiencing. We ask Allah to fulfill your heart with joy and happiness. Ameen. But I say, be patient, have good companions around you, and don't believe that you're being punished. Rather, see it as a test, that Allah is testing you, and when we find ourselves in these situations, we have to remind ourselves, when Allah puts us through hardship and trial and tribulation, He is the only one who can relieve us from those hardships and those tribulations. You see. And the reality of this life, we're not seeking happiness in this life. This life is just a means, a journey, and the person takes the provisions that they can to aid them to an everlasting happiness in the hereafter. But as I said, don't keep your feelings to yourself. Seek aid, seek counseling to help relieve you from maybe this trauma that you're going through, that you need to express to someone who doesn't know you, who's not going to judge you, and the likes. وأنت فجزاك الله خيرا. And if the Muslims, we're here for you to the best of our ability. If you need help, then message me and we'll see how we can help you, inshallah ta'ala. But don't lose hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't lose hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The best of us have been tested. The best of us will continue to be tested. Allah mentions, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَالنَّقْصِ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. Allah mentions we're going to test you with poverty, hardship, fear, and loss of life, and loss of wealth, and provisions. But give glad tidings to those who are patient. الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ راجعون. It mentions there are those who, when they are afflicted with calamity, adversity, they say, we belong to Allah, and to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we shall return. أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون. For them there are salutations upon them from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His mercy, and they are the ones who will be rightly guided. Allah also mentions, يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة إن الله مع الصابرين. Allah mentions, oh you who believe, seek help, seek aid from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with patience and salah. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with those who are patient. So whatever you're going through, be patient. Be patient. And remember, the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is true. Inna ma'al usri yusra. Indeed, with hardship comes ease. Also, Allah, He mentions, وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. Whoever fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will make for him a way out. وَيَرْزُقُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide for them from means they couldn't imagine. وَمَن يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. And whoever truly relies upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will find that Allah will suffice them. We have to learn who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. Learn Allah by His names and His attributes, and solely rely upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as the Prophet said, لا ملجأ إلا إليك. There is no place of refuge except to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So whatever hardship that we go through, we have to return back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and within that we'll find comfort and consolement, and we'll be reminded of the reality of this life. هذه الدار بس هي دار الابتلاء وإن الآخرة لهي حيوان حياة الآخرة لهي الحيوان. The life of the hereafter, that is the true life. So don't lose hope from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Keep good people around you. Stay close to those who want good for you. And if you are not around your local Muslim community, make sure you introduce yourself, you become known to them. And don't feel shame to share your struggles. Don't feel shame for people to hear your struggles, that people that want good for you. Because sometimes when we keep these matters close to ourselves, it tears us apart, and that's why we end up feeling extremely low and depressed. But always remember, there will always be a way out. It's just a matter of time and requires patience and forbearance. بإذن الله تعالى.